fuck are you gonna update that shit? I'm in Pittsburgh with a lot of hoes. Young nigga with a bankroll. Lil Dirt 88 on Twitter. Junior Dirt _88 on IG. Yeah. Cartoons was the last shit on my mind. I was chasing folks. Okay? Wash your ass. Broke hoes get nothing.
Yo, I'm in Pittsburgh with a lot of hoes. Young nigga with a bankroll. This is the Ignant Agenda. I'm your boy, way more fly than you. 1 U on Instagram. Way more fly than you. 2 U's on Twitter. Your baby mama's favorite single father. To my left. Well, starting. Let me start here. We have a special guest recording with us this evening. Ma'am, please introduce yourself.
Yo, 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 my name is Miri F. Baby. Most people know me as Miri. Most people know me as the Spanish girl on Twitter just talking her shit.
All right. And to Miri's left, big black nigga with a bald head.
We back. Lil Dirt 88 on Twitter. Junior Dirt _88 on IG.
How's everybody feeling? Everybody good? We in a good headspace?
Feeling good, feeling great.
That's good. This is her first time recording with these two ignorant ass niggas. So we like to start off every episode by just checking in on everybody's mental health, making sure you good up top. So, you know, how your week going? Is everything okay? Anything you want to get off your chest?
No, man, we're good. We just sold our house.
That's what's up.
And so we're moving forward, trying to get, you know, these kids under control.
Yeah.
Trying to find time for us by ourselves.
That is an interesting point. So, one, real estate market, how hard was it for you to sell your crib?
We put it on the market on Saturday.
Okay.
We accepted the offer today. 20
Like
minutes.
Saturday, like last week?
Like Saturday, 4 days ago.
Oh, shit. That's what's up, man. That's
Like
what's
crazy. But listen, on the other hand, that renter's market, yo, these people out here eating on these rental properties.
Yeah.
Well, once they get the ones who didn't want to fucking pay their rent.
Yeah.
But once they get it popping again, yeah.
So what made you want to sell versus like rent it out? Like,
really, because at the end of the day, we're gonna want our own like actual land. We want to build our house.
okay.
And just the location, we were thinking about our kids, the schools. And honestly, I don't want to be nobody landlord because the shit y'all had to put up with for the past year and a half.
Yeah.
I feel for y'all because people have literally lost thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, the shit's sad. On the other hand, I get it because some people are struggling. They lost their jobs. They weren't going to be able to pay, you know. But this is for the people who know they could pay and was like, fuck it, I'm going to ride this wave.
Gotcha. Okay.
And quiet as it's cat, it's my white people doing it, but that's another subject for another day.
Got you. Before I move on to you, cuz, shout out to Marley Juice. Our sponsors, greatest juice in the world. Marley Juice on Instagram, MALLY Juice.
My dog.
They got all flavors. We call them colors. Right in front of you see pink and red. Don't know the name of them shits, but they good as fuck. That's all you need to know. At Marley Juice on Instagram, MALLY Juice. Cuz, back to you, man. How you feeling up top? I know we talked early and offline about, you know, the stressful shit that everybody been going through. So how you feeling?
So to piggyback off you, I'm trying to buy a house, but it's a struggle right now.
Yeah.
And our landlord just put their house up for sale, so now we got to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we ran into that issue too. Like, we wanted to see a house, but we couldn't see the house because the people who lived in the house had just got noticed after only living in that house for 6 months.
Yeah.
That they had 2 more months to get the fuck up out that house because that house was sold.
right.
And now the new seller wants to go up on the rent and they can't afford it.
Gotcha.
So that's why I said the market is wild
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So, and then in the midst of all that, this is why we haven't recorded in the last 2 weeks. My mother-in-law passed away. So,
My condolences.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh.
so we're grieving and also having to find
Trying to find
a
somewhere
spot
to
to move
space.
into.
So stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Man, my heart goes out to y'all because I know and understand what that feels like. The last 2 cribs that I bought, I had to sell a house and look for a house at the same time. So, you know, the housing market is definitely not what it used to be here. I hear everybody on Instagram and Twitter talking about, oh, move today, it'll solve all your problems. Nigga, that shit
No.
is not true. That shit is not
At
true
all.
at all. And, you know, I think a lot of people have it misconstrued about, you know, how expensive it really is up here. Like, you have your sides of town that are more affordable. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of being cheap, because that's the word that get thrown around a lot. Oh, it's cheap to move today. It's cheap to live in A. It's really not.
It's
bro.
really not. And the bad part is Atlanta is turning into a tech city.
Yep.
Google has moved out here.
Yep.
Microsoft
Microsoft.
is expanding.
Yep.
Amazon is buying up every damn acre of land
Yep.
from here to the damn Mississippi River, okay?
Yep.
You can't go nowhere without seeing the Amazon truck.
Yep.
And they brought all that shit to Atlanta.
Yep.
So now these houses that were, you know, before going for 180 are now selling for 310.
Yeah.
And you gotta, if the asking is 310, you got to go to like 320 because
Yeah.
you about to get outbid if you even ask for asking. Like, that's how bad it is. And it sucks because they're offering these loans to these families like, hey, this is a no documentation loan.
Yeah.
So you don't got to show no pay stubs or nothing, but so long as you got good credit, you
Right.
can get whatever house you want up to 1 million. So now y'all putting these people who only make together $90K
Yeah.
in $1 million home
I'm wondering why they can't afford it.
and wondering why they can't afford it. So do always understand what goes up always comes down.
That's why I'm chilling.
So if you are looking to buy, like, stack your money, make your bread, stack your money, because when this housing market crashes,
It's a wrap. Everything gonna be back cheap.
everything is going to be on sale.
Yep.
But you got to have cash on hand because them investors coming to get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
I know y'all seen earlier. They let the boy out.
Cliff,
Heathcliff.
they did it back on the streets.
They let Heathcliff out, man, on the technicality.
on a technicality.
Y'all better cover y'all drinks.
So yeah, nah, dead ass serious though. So like the interesting part about all of this is, you know, with him being who he is and what he went through and what he put other people through, it now gives the perception that because you got money, you pretty much, or the perception always been there, but because you got money, you can get away with damn near anything, including sexual assault.
No. Let's be clear, because white people have used this technicality shit for a very long time.
Absolutely.
You know what's the difference between Bill Cosby and everybody else who it didn't happen for? Bill Cosby has money for the lawyers to sit there and dig through that shit like a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah. Yep.
Bill Cosby is paying his lawyer at least, I mean, that man eating
Yeah, they on retainer.
on
Like,
reta-
yeah, they on
eating
retainer. So
to make sure that anything changes, to look through that shit like a fine, like literally all what happened, that the DA left, they put a new DA in there, and the new DA going through some shit.
yeah. So he went. So I remember in the beginning, he was asking for a pardon because of the COVID constraints that was going on in the jail. He was high risk. Of course, he's up there in age. And he was looking forward to being released due to COVID, because the same thing had happened with, I don't know if y'all familiar with Southwest T. That's Big Meech's brother. So Big Meech's brother got out on the COVID, like a little COVID technicality too. And that's the same pardon that Meech tried to get off on when, what's your boy was leaving office? Donald Trump. When he was leaving office. So I said all of that to say, it just looks bad, man. Like I'm a fan of the Cosby Show because I grew up on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was something that me and my family sat around and watched because we could relate to the things that were going on between not only the parents as a couple, but the kids in themselves. But to see, like, one of your childhood heroes just literally get off on being a monster is just, it's disturbing. But, you know, I don't know what y'all thought.
Now, I will say, you know, he is not innocent. Let's be very clear.
I just said this earlier.
Bill Cosby is not innocent.
Yeah.
He got off on a technicality.
Yeah.
That is all there is to it.
He's just released.
He is just released. He is as guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Now, I say that to say, God don't like ugly, and his higher power will deal with him like that needs to be dealt. He has literally hundreds of civil suits pending. His estate is going to be ran to the ground by the end of all of this. So his karma is coming. Is it the ideal justice?
Probably
Absolutely not.
Right.
It's a slap in the face to the victims. It's disrespectful. It's everything under the damn sun. However, his karma is coming. Like, and I am hoping his motherfucking ass get tried in a different state.
Yeah.
And they do it the right way.
The issue is, and what I don't know though, is will he be immune by double jeopardy? So, you know, with double jeopardy, you can't get charged for the same crime twice. So now it's almost like this nigga got to get out of jail free card, and he is back on the streets. Like, my heart just goes out to the victims and all the people that were,
Really,
you know,
and
the true victims.
Yes.
During this situation that were impacted by, you know what I'm saying, his just lack of care. So, whatever, man. I'm not happy about it, but again, you know, another black man is released from prison, which is the overall good thing, but not in this case.
Not the right one.
Not in this case.
Not the right one.
Nah, hell no.
Wrong
Okay.
nigga.
So, usually we have a number of different segments that we go through and we talk about. But because we have a guest here, we want to open up the floor to have a longer discussion about the topic at hand.
Okay.
So, me and Jeff been sitting on this topic for quite some time, and we have been waiting on the right individual to come exchange dialogue with us because, as you can see, it's just two males here, and there is no female opinion most of the time.
You keep the wires away.
Yeah, right.
Wait a minute.
So, the topic that we want to discuss today is, can a man properly lead a household if he is not the breadwinner? And I want to start with you because you are on the opposite side of this conversation. Jeff and I both have Jeff is the breadwinner. I have been the breadwinner of my households. But I have not heard this perspective from the other side of that. So, as a woman, do you feel that you could properly respect a guy that you make more money than?
There's layers to that question, though, because how much more? Like, what's significant? Is it that he's making 50 and I'm making 100? Or is it that he's making 75 and I'm making, 85? Is it that big of a difference?
So let's, for sake of the conversation, you making 100, he making 50.
Okay. So If I'm making 100 and he's making 50, clearly something other than his damn income made me even be interested.
Correct.
Right? So let's say we already heavily in a relationship.
Right.
You've already accepted that fact.
Yes.
From the beginning.
Correct.
When you found out that he made $50,000 and you continued the conversation, and then you continued the relationship, and then you guys continue to talk about a future, and then y'all get married and y'all have kids, there's nothing you can really say because you already accepted that.
Okay.
That's really and truly, and that's just for the 100 and the 50K split. You know, usually it's not that significant, and when it is that significant, sorry ladies, it's usually the ladies making a significant amount of money, and they're with someone who makes significantly less than them. There is something else that is keeping you around him, because when you know that you busting your ass to make this money and that most of your check is the check that's going out, and all this man is offering is half of that, and he don't bring anything else to the table, yeah, you there for a different reason. Now, that's why I said it's layers to that, right? Because if a partner is making 50 and she's making 64, 65, but he's the one picking up the kids from school. He's the one who's cooking dinner. He's the one who's usually doing most of, shit around the house because she's always at work.
Like only?
Like, not only.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying, no, I'm not saying like all of a sudden he becomes a maid. But what I'm saying is when she's at work and she's the one who's going to work the most hours,
He's picking up the slack.
then he's picking up the slack.
I got you.
And then it balances out, because at the end of the day, once she does stop that working so much, then that slack comes off him. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a balance there. Or at least, there's a goal to, all right, I'm sitting here and I'm working this much because I'm able to, and you're not.
Right. And
the extra money is going to go for this, for the house.
Gotcha.
But I know my children are safe. I know my children are being fed and they're being taken care of. So to me, it's a balance.
Jeffrey?
I want to ask you a question. So, what is your definition of a man leading?
That's a great question.
Household decisions, I think financial decisions, if they are the financial person. Like I know in my relationship, I am not. I will spend a check.
Okay.
Like it's no other. So I'm not the person to run my bills. Like, tell me what I'm supposed to pay and here you go. All
right, so let me ask you, pause right there. Are you the write bills down person? I got a spreadsheet every month person, or I got an account and I just pay the shit when it's due?
We have become a write down couple.
Okay.
Like we brought a dry eraser board.
Yeah.
We put that bitch up and we put upcoming bills, the dates, and when they're due.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's how we know what check is paying for what. And that way we know this is the expectation and this is what we're doing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So back to Jeff's question. He said, what's your definition of leading? So you said making household decisions. Is that like the tough decisions of where we're going to live? What school the kids going to? Like, what do those questions look like?
I think it's more so how he feels what's best for us as a family, right? Like, even with me and my significant other, like a couple months ago, he came to me and he was like, I think I want to sell the house. Okay. Gave me all the facts, gave me all the details. All right, cool, let's do it. Right. It made sense. He still spoke to me, but it was a decision he was already on board with. He was just checking with me.
So now, okay, great. Now, I like that example. Let's say he laid all the facts out for you and you were in disagreement. At what point and I don't know you all's financial situation, but at what point does the ultimate decision get made, and by who does it get made by?
See, that's kind of hard for me because we're very good at communication.
Right. Okay.
So it really wouldn't be something that one person has to decide on, because it's really mutual beneficial, right? So if he tells me, you know, on the financial side, you know, this is what it can be, and then I'm thinking more towards our future. Okay, so now we can put our kids in good rated schools. Now we can be around like-minded families when it comes to community, because really, in the era that we grew up in, we grew up outside with our neighbors' kids and playing kickball and everybody, and we knew all of our neighbors, and everybody looked out for each other.
Right.
And every other culture still has that. When you go to No Cross, that's Little Mexico.
Yeah.
When you go on the other side of Beaufort Highway, that's Little China.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So other cultures have their clusters, and I feel like we should be able to create our own cluster in a good neighborhood, because I really think that we've been brainwashed to think that we have to live in lower income and that we're sellouts when we decide
To better ourselves.
hold on, I want to go to this neighborhood because it's a good school. Okay, cool. Me and my homegirl had this debate the other day about school, because she felt offended that I said South Atlanta schools shouldn't just have pockets of good schools. All of the schools should be good.
Right.
You shouldn't have to fight to get into a community to get into a good school.
Yeah.
And so with my son being 5, and in August he'll start kindergarten, to me the elementary school is the foundation.
Of course. Yeah.
Right? You are pretty much setting them up to learn structure, to learn what they need to learn, their life skills and all of that. And yes, you're going to supplement, but you still want a good foundation school that's going to keep him in the ranks of, if he goes somewhere to Kansas and he's in a conversation, or he's even like in some type of conference with other students in Kansas, that all of y'all know what y'all supposed to be talking about in 7th grade, in 8th grade, in 9th grade.
Yeah, kindergarten, ain't no more naps.
Hell yeah.
Them naps out the window.
That's really important. I really wanted to stress that, because I don't want people thinking like, yes, do I want to be in a diverse community? Of course. Ideally, would I want my child, you know, who has a black father, to be around, you know, black kids? Yes. I'm not moving nowhere where he gonna be around a bunch of white kids, you know?
Yeah, not predominantly.
I'm still, I'm still, and really, honestly, Georgia, unless you really live in those hick towns, there's not really a lot of predominantly white neighborhoods here. There's a few clusters.
I only see white people sporadically when I go to work or when I go to the Battery.
Right.
Right. Niggas love
Them
baseball.
the only two spots you really gonna see white people up here inside the perimeter, of
Right.
course. You know what I'm saying?
So yes, elevate. If you feel like you got to take your child out of one school district and put them in a good school district and put your family in a better position to win, do it, because every other culture does, and we have that right.
Absolutely.
That's all.
So, Jeffrey. So let's flip the conversation, right? How would you feel being the man in a household where you made less than your wife?
Damn, I gotta be a broke ass nigga.
Yeah, you probably. Yeah. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, you might have to do the laundry a lot more.
I mean, I think like in that scenario, you do gonna have to compensate a little, more. You gonna have to cook a little more. You gonna have to do the laundry a little more. You got to make sure the grass stay cut.
Yeah.
Make sure our car wash. Like, so you're gonna do a lot more than just you go cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing the game.
It's a compromise, to balance, really. You know, back in the day when one person can go to work and one person can stay home and maintain the household, that was back when you can afford your fucking mortgage was $500.
If
that, right. Back in the day when you were able to do that, because I know when my parents bought their house, you know, that's how it was. My dad went to work and he told my mom, if you want to stay home, stay home.
Yeah.
But on the days my dad needed my mom to go to work, she was up at 4 a.m. with him, had his clothes on. He was a carpenter, so he owned his own shop. She went to the shop. She was out there busting out with them woods too. Like, and that to him was respect, because at the end of the day, listen, you can stay at home, right? But when your man or something happens to them where they are out of commission to work and earn an income, Are you going to be equipped to be the person to be the head of the household?
Right.
And that is reality. And I'm not talking about these city girl relationships where y'all don't even freaking know what y'all want to do in a year. I'm talking about these real relationships where there's kids involved, where your life goals have to match, where y'all have to know that at the end of the day, y'all shit is in sync, and y'all the team.
Yeah.
And get that shit together.
So I got a question. So your mom was a housewife? Most okay.
Most times.
So
she did work. She worked, and then she got sick. And at that point, my dad was just like, you don't have to go back to work if you don't want to. And he had 7 daughters.
Yeah.
He had 7 daughters to raise. So hell, pay for daycare for 7 of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Or you stay home because that's how much it's gonna cost to have all their ass in there.
At that point, it's just math. Right. It's just math. So what? Okay, so my question to you is, what motivated you? Because both of us went 4-year college.
Right.
So what? And foundation most of the time is where we get the bulk of who we are and what we end up being.
Right.
So what motivated you to say, well, I know my mom was a housewife, but I want to be a career woman? Like, where did that? Well,
it really came from my parents. Honestly, my mom was real. Like, hey, y'all have to go to work. Y'all have to go to school. Y'all have to make your own money. Don't depend on no man. And, on the other side of it, it was my dad saying, hey, yes, a man is supposed to be good to you. Yes, he's supposed to respect you. Yes, he's supposed to take care of you. But the day that man come in that house and say he got laid off, the next day you should be up and going out the door and going to work.
Gotcha.
And that is just what a real partnership is. Motherfuckers think you get married and all of a sudden you just supposed to sit at home sitting pretty. I mean, my nigga, if you want to sit at home, at least create a business, create a boutique, create something. Shit, just don't be sitting at home, because to me, that's laziness.
Correct. Gotcha.
And when you become a parent, if you sit there and you do that, you lazy, period. I do not care, because when you have children, you automatically gain structure.
Yep.
Automatically.
Sure.
And if you don't got no structure in your life, my dog, you got to reevaluate, because that's the only way to be practical about this adulting shit.
Absolutely.
For real.
Absolutely. Yeah, and kids do make you figure shit out with the quickness.
With a quickness.
Because I'm gonna be 1,000. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
No idea.
For the first few years, of course, you know what I'm saying, me and their mom were together, but after that, like when I became a single parent, like you literally ain't no manual for none of this shit. You gotta figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up in a structure where my parents still married. They going on year 39. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what it was. Like, it's funny, me and my brother had these conversations because our parents can't relate to co-parenting. You get what I'm saying? Like, me and my brother both have significant others that we had kids with and we not together with anymore. So we laugh about not being able to talk to my parents about certain shit, like, well, why you gotta go take them over there? Why they can't meet you? And I'm like, yo, you don't really understand how this shit go, because you've been with my daddy longer than I've been on this earth. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we have those exchanges. But again, too, I watch, like, for me, and just going back to the overall topic, I watch my dad bring home 6 figures in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, my daddy always made money, and my mom was always the help meet, what they call. So he brought the money home. He wasn't as strong financially. She paid all the bills with what they made together. But she did other things, like she was taking us to get haircuts. She was taking us to karate. She was doing all those things that I see now on social media, which you shouldn't use social media or whatever, but all the women complain about. And for me, seeing that upbringing crippled me, because I'm looking at my mom be superwoman. She cooking 3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? She taking my brother to karate. I'm going to basketball, football. I got to go to school. We got to get haircuts. We got extracurricular activities on the weekend. Like, she's doing all of this while my dad is busting his ass and bringing home the cheese. But then you get married and you think, okay, this how this shit supposed to be. And you quickly are reminded that, you probably need to find out what y'all structure should be and what works for the both of y'all before this shit crash falling down.
Right.
So,
and I think that all ties into having life goals, right? knowing how you want to run your household,
Right.
knowing how you want to raise your children, knowing how you want to come up with resolutions or solutions together.
Yep.
And so it's not, for the longest time I was single, right? I didn't have to report to nobody.
Yep.
Like, I didn't have to answer to nobody. I didn't have to ask nobody how their day was, and I don't care.
It's a whole bunch of shit you got to do in your
know?
relationship, ain't it?
And then, right. And so when you get in a relationship, you just like, shit, wait, I care about this person. Like, okay, how was your day? Did you talk to your parents? Did you, stuff like that. And then also with just going out, right? So there was this one night, like, I'm with my homegirl, and so I tell him, like, yo, I'm about to go out with my homegirl. I'll talk to you later. In my mind, that was it. Like, all right, I'll see you when I get home. Right? And so he hadn't heard from me for hours. And then I had ended up getting drunk, and I ended up falling asleep at my homegirl's house. And I think I woke up maybe 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'm like, oh shit, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm texting him like, hey, I'm on my way home, like I fell asleep. And so I get home, and when it's like tension in the house, but you don't know how to address it, and you just you just trying to check the temperature in the room.
It's quiet.
And we had a barbecue to go to later that day, and I was just like, all right.
The same day that you was tripping?
The same day, yes. So I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go.
I know.
So I started off with just hey, we still going or whatever. And he was just like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Just being real short. And I didn't push it because it was one of those things where I really had to question myself, like, dang, is he mad about this? Because, I told him I was hanging out with her, and, I hit him later. I can see if he mad because I fell asleep and I didn't check in, when I got to Alan's house, because we had moved a couple of places. Mm-hmm. So, he knew I was at this spot, but after a certain time, I think it was probably about 9, I disappeared.
Right.
And so it just didn't dawn on me. So, it wasn't a fallout. It wasn't, the house just disturbed for a week. It was probably a couple of days. And then, see, I'm the type of person where I just can't let shit linger for too long. Probably a day or two, and then I'd be like, all right, nigga, it's time to stop. It's time to get over this.
But see,
shit.
as men, and keeping with this topic, and then I got another question for you. As men, we don't hold on to shit as long as y'all do. If y'all can address what the root cause of and be accountable for that you fucked up, I'm cool. You now in that scenario, did you turn the tables and put yourself in his shoes? If he would have went out with his homeboys and he fell asleep on his homeboy couch and he texting you at 4:30 in the morning, is that okay?
You'd have been at the front door with your bonnet on.
No. Because here's the thing: if I know you going out with your homeboys, bro, you going out with your homeboys, you ain't got to be sitting there texting me or nothing like that. Now, if I happen to wake up at 6 in the morning and you not there, then at that point I'm calling. It's not so much as this nigga fucking somebody else, because if I gotta wake up with that thought, nigga, I don't need to be with you. Mm-hmm. So that's not my thought. My thought is safety. All right, I hope this nigga didn't fall asleep at the wheel. Right. I hope this nigga didn't do this. I hope this nigga didn't do that. And I think for us women, well, I'm not talking for everyone, because I know there's women that'll call every hour on an hour, and I'm just not that person. I think that's when I would start to worry. And I feel like he knows how I am when I drink. He knows, she liable to fall asleep. Mm-hmm. So it was just him making sure that I was being concerned.
Right, gotcha.
But when you're used to living a certain way, I just and so it was that in that moment, and I was like, all right,
that's a lot of
I'm
adjustments.
wrong.
It's a lot of adjustments in relationships.
It's a lot of adjustments. I'd be like, God dang.
So let's say now another scenario, right? Back to you make $100K. Yeah, you make 100K, he
Right.
make 50. He's doing all the intangibles. Like, he's doing everything that he need to do to sustain the relationship. He's communicating that. But then he want to go out and he just feel like blowing some money one day without talking to you. How does that look and how do you react?
Okay. Again, it really depends. Like, nigga, did you just go out and blow 10K and you don't got shit to show for it? Or
Okay, stay right there. I went out. I've been wanting a Cuban link bracelet. That's what the fuck I want. I go to work every day just like you do. You know what I'm saying? Cuban link bracelet, maybe, let's just say for sake of math, it was $2,500.
Okay.
And I dipped into our savings account
Okay.
to get the $2,500 to get me the Cuban link because that's what the fuck I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I didn't consult with you because the money that we put in there is just as much as mine as it is yours.
Okay. Honestly,
Yes.
it really depends how good he been in these intangibles, though. Because, my nigga, if he holding down the crib, dog, you want a Cuban link? Go get fine and get a Cuban link.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you have to be appreciative of your partner because you gonna want that reciprocated, right?
Well.
If he's the person that's making 100K and you making 50K, you want to at least feel that you are bringing something to the home and that you are being respected and admired for your role and what you bring.
Right.
Right? And so there has to be reciprocation when it comes to these roles because you guys chose them. This is not something that just develops overnight. Well, boom, y'all living together and you find out this motherfucker making 30K and you making 75.
Yeah.
It don't happen that way. Especially nowadays in dating because, honey, that's probably like one of the top 10 questions that's floating around now and the starter date.
Yeah.
Which is wild because I thought that was something like when you get serious with somebody, but ain't nobody trying to hear that nowadays
Nah.
because of how far behind we are compared to our parents when it comes to developing families.
Hoes is coming out the gate with the wild questions.
What's your,
How
let me
much
see
you
your
make
W-2.
and is you gay?
You're right.
I've been asked that before. You know what I'm saying? Like within the first few conversations, like, have you ever been with a guy? And I'm like, yo, no. Fuck is you talking about? But it's tricky because if you answer it aggressively, then it look like you're lying. If you answer too passively, it look like you're lying. So it's almost like it's a fucking trick question. You know what I'm saying? And
But listen though. I was an HIV social worker at Grady. And so, Weedy,
I understand.
them dudes look like
I
y'all.
understand. I
They
get
be
it.
having whole ass wives.
I get it. Yep.
And them motherfuckers be popping up positive. And you around here asking them what happened. And all of a sudden, they little friend.
Them boys be butt bangles.
So, you know, it's very prevalent in
telling
Atlanta.
you,
And
it is.
like,
Try to shut it down.
yeah, that's one of them questions. And honestly, it's really depending on the environment of where you at,
Right.
depending on the questions. If I lived in Miami and I met a dude, the first thing I'm asking, nigga, is you a rapper or a scammer, right?
True story.
Because that's what y'all are in
True
Miami.
story.
That's usually y'all either in the music industry or y'all scamming some niggas.
Or you a CEO.
Or you a right. Or you a CO. Shout out to y'all though. Y'all got benefits.
Yeah. Because the CEOs be looking like scammers. Them niggas work a lot of overtime, bro. And you can't tell them apart.
Listen, you can't tell them nothing. They got them souped up ass 250s.
Yep.
F250s.
Yeah.
Now, so you know, or charges. That's usually them too. But yeah, that's how you have to ask. Here, you gotta ask, are you gay? What's your income? And are you a scammer? Because, honey, Atlanta has now become the mecca of them.
Especially if you're African.
Woo!
Them Africans getting off. They's
Listen.
getting off. So I got a question for you, Jeff. Let's say, like how, okay, so, well, both of you are really. So let's say, same scenario, 100K woman, 50K man. What does the account structure look like? Are we joint account? Is it
married?
one? Well, I mean, both scenarios. So boyfriend and girlfriend, engaged. married, is it joint account? Is it joint account for bills, joint account for savings, and then separate elsewhere? Or like, how does that look? What would you be most comfortable with?
I think that there needs to be an agreeable percentage on the joint account.
Okay.
To me, that should be 50-50, right? Because mortgage
For the bills?
But for that's just for if that's no, not the bills.
Okay.
That is just our joint account. We would have a separate account for the bills because at the end of the day, if I'm the person who makes more money, then let's say I'd be the person who take the mortgage, whereas he's taking the utilities, where usually in a normal home, I don't know, people have different
You would be comfortable
structures.
with that?
But if that's what it's supposed to take, if he's doing all the other
I got you.
intangibles,
Okay, cool. Okay,
right?
Stay right there. What about you?
I would do it just how we do it now. Like we have all our paychecks come into one joint account.
Right.
Then we break it down to pay all the bills or however we structure it. We pay the bills, then we break it down to we call it allowance. Then we break it down to Chase, and then we break it down to our savings.
Got it.
And that's how we roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that because we're married. Now, engagement, that can be kind of tricky. If y'all know y'all getting married, like then we can get on that path.
Let's just say everything on the straight.
Right.
Ain't nobody fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
We had it there.
Yeah, boyfriend, girlfriend, fuck you.
I feel you. Yeah, I'm not splitting no account with no girlfriend.
Hell no.
That's just not what we doing. Like
We
we gotta
live
figure this
together.
shit out separately, and then when we come together,
Yeah, we
rich.
live together. Like I pay the rent or the mortgage or whatever, and you gotta pay everything else. That's just how we going. Because I don't know if we gonna make it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I think we tried to do that joint account shit. Yeah, that shit ain't work. And then it switched to separate discretionary accounts. Like whatever you spend your money on, that's you. Whatever I spend my money on, that's me. But we had a joint for the savings and we had a joint for the bills, and we just dumped money in there for the household bills and shit like that.
Right.
I think moving forward though, I would be inclined to try the joint everything again. Mm-hmm. But I think you go into that with the proper communication. So my parents, bro, 39 years, I ask my mama this every time I go to the crib. They got one account, bro.
One debit card?
One. No, it's
yeah.
But it's all of this shit go to the same account. 39 years.
But you got to remember, you got to sit there and you got to be with a life partner who is like you. If you know that you one of them people who you like basic amenities, you like doing basic shit, go get you a basic bitch.
So, okay,
Or,
stay there.
Basic nigga.
True.
Or a basic nigga, I'm sorry,
We
and
wanna
a
be-
basic nigga.
We do want to be gender
We're
neutral.
going to be gender neutral because, some of y'all be piss poor ass ladies too.
True. So my parents are complete opposite. My mom is frugal Frida. Like nigga, if it ain't on sale, she not buying it. My daddy, on the other hand, he's an impulsive buyer, but he'll only go get it if he know, like, okay, it ain't that bad. Like he'll go get what's them Omega watches. He like them stupid ass shits because he Omega. So Omega watches, upwards of maybe $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in some cases. Like he done bought one before, but I've asked him before. I'm like, have you ever been or had like anxiety when mommy just spend money? He said, I've never questioned your mom about anything that she's bought.
But because he knows her.
Correct.
He knows her. He knows at any given point, if something show up on that credit card that say $5,000, hey, that's fraud. That ain't her. I know that's not her because she ain't spending that at one time. Right? Mm-hmm. And if she was going to come to you and tell you anyway because you know your wife.
Correct.
And that comes over as many people want to say, oh, you learned that over the years. No, basic shit like that.
Yeah.
You find out during the dating and relationship phase.
Absolutely. I agree.
You know that already.
And you ignore it too.
And you ignore it because there's other things that balances higher than that little shit right there until your ass realize really how much that shit gonna bother and annoy the fuck out of you as time go on.
What would be a red flag for you dating somebody and you do see a future with them? Everything else, all the other boxes check. Communicate, yeah, we communicate. Yeah, I'm faithful, take care of my kids, go to work every day. But on the financial side, what would be a red flag for you in terms of like an impulsive buy? Like, what would you look at and be like, that don't look right to me?
It's
like, what type of purchase would that look like?
It's one of those things, like, because it's two variables. If your ass late on payments, but you around here and you ordering sneakers every week, nigga, you irresponsible.
I agree.
If you sitting here and all your bills on payment arrangement, but you around here and wine and dining me, nigga, you irresponsible.
Correct.
Because then I'm going to need you to come up with some cheaper ways of us to enjoy each other. Because honestly, if that motherfucker like you, it don't matter what you do. She going to be okay with just being with you.
Very true.
Period.
Very true.
So it's like one of those things like, hey, what we doing?
Yeah.
Like, period.
Yeah. No fireworks for those of y'all that are listening. I live in affluent Lithonia, okay? It's not.
He real close to the white.
We don't live in the ghetto. All right, cuz. So for you, like, what would be a red flag? What would trigger you? Like, what type of purchase would trigger you to be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might want to rethink that.
Is me buying it?
No, your significant other buying it.
Oh. I think our threshold is anything over 500.
Oh, you got to check in? Oh, y'all got a threshold.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And that's a very good idea.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a very good idea, but also I really think that
outside of like Christmas gifts and shit like that, birthdays and shit
like
that. But,
okay.
Right. But I also think when you have that communication with your partner, you already know if it's already in the back of their mind of something to buy. Like, he already knows if a goddamn cycle bike show up to that house, whether it's $200 or $2,500, you already knew what's coming because for a year I've been talking about it.
Right.
So when it show up, she probably all he gonna say is, "Damn, she finally pulled the trigger on that goddamn bike."
Yeah.
That's all he can say.
Let me check my account. It's a little low.
So the 500 threshold is because you said y'all got your own accounts, right?
Yeah. Now she been saving in her own account. That's cool.
Oh, you talking about from the joint? Whatever
it
y'all
come from
doing.
the joint account.
I got
like whenever I bought like a TV or something like that, that was a topic of discussion.
Got it.
Like, but if you save your money, like you didn't eat lunch or you was eating ramen or ham sandwiches, then
and you stacked
your money, you got with your purse or whatever, then that's on you.
Okay.
Likewise for me. So,
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, man. A lot of people like to say that finances is the primary reason why a lot of people don't make it in marriage and relationships, and I disagree. I think everything boils down to communication. If I can't talk to you, then we're not gonna make it, and that's on anything. That's on every level, from finances, to sex, to kids, to where I'm gonna work, where we're gonna live, etc., etc. So I think a lot of times what happens is people either don't talk or they scared to talk. Very much so. You know what I'm saying?
But also, it's one of those things where you can't show a life that you know you're not going to give. Right? Do not show a life that you know that you're not going to give. Yeah. Now, it does boil down to communication, because at the end of the day, if I'm making $100K and my partner is making $50K, well, guess what? Apparently, I know how to make it to $100K. So we need to sit down, figure out your talents and how we can branch and profit off of those, so that you can make more money. Right? Mine is a fire inspector. Okay, what can we do with that? What you need? Oh, you need this certification, this, that, and the third to do this. Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and do that. You know why? Because in a few years, when you're done with that, we can make you a consultant. We can sit there and start our own little business, Black owned, in the south of Atlanta or wherever we decide here in Georgia. Like, you're able to sit there and elevate that. And at the end of the day, you have now built a company that you can also bring in other Black home inspectors and take over a market that's not really saturated with Black home inspectors. So that is how, we have to think out the box when you have a partner that has less than that. But if you got somebody, you making $100K, he's making $50K, and you notice that nigga lazy and all he do is go to work, clock in, clock out, come to the couch,
And buy shoes.
smoke his weed, and buy motherfucking shoes every damn week.
Yeah.
Hey,
Baby,
and
New
I
Jordan's
got to
about to
come
come out.
home. I still got to cook dinner. I got to get the kids ready for school. I got to sit there. I got to make sure they homework straight, and I got to do all of this shit. Hey, bro, we ain't even going to work because this ain't no partnership, bitch. We roommates.
Right.
So
What we doing? And that's a different financial situation because we're now bringing in the intangibles. It's not like this culture, I call it the city girl culture that we have.
Oh God.
Where women really think men are supposed to pay for everything. Do understand that even Black Twitter, as big as we think it is still small.
Very small.
Right?
Yeah,
So as much as y'all think that it's a whole bunch of rich ass men who are taking care of these women wholeheartedly and giving them their all. I mean, their love, their affection, their time, all of this shit, their faithfulness. Cause, yeah. And you know what women got a problem with? Well, he be at work 20 hours a day and we don't get no time, but he making $3 million, no, and he keeping you in a Bentley.
Right.
Which one do you want? Right? Oh, well, you know, he rich, he give me all this money, we go on these trips, but he cheating all the time. Well, you wanted a nigga with all of this
Either
money.
Better pick one.
Understand that there is a small percentage of rich men who are faithful to their wives and give them everything that check off on their list.
Right.
Let's be realists. And this is why there's so many single women, because you guys are not realists when it comes to this dating shit. This shit piss poor. You ain't gonna get what your mama got. You know why? Because them niggas that's out here now wasn't raised in the same age that your daddy was raised in.
Right. You had a question, cuz.
That's funny.
It's the fact.
So let's stick with the 100K. You making 100K. You making 50K. Is it brought up in an argument? Or how would you feel if your old lady brought it up in an argument?
That I was making less than her? Yeah, that's the last argument.
So
That we gonna have, because we probably not gonna be together after that. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, I hate the term argument because it gives off a negative connotation, right?
Right.
So in a discussion, if you bring up, and this goes for finances, this goes for anything that I brought up in a intimate setting where I felt comfortable to express myself to you. If you bring that up later on in a discussion, to me, I feel like, okay, well now I can't even be vulnerable around you because you're gonna use that and you're gonna weaponize it against me. So I'm already uncomfortable, and for you to bring that up during that type of time means that you're more concerned about you winning the debate than us coming up with a mutual decision to, you know what I'm saying?
To just discuss it.
Correct.
So you're vulnerable, even though. How do you solve the vulnerability? Is she encouraging you like, babe, it's okay that I make this, you make that? Like, how do you?
Hell no, because then I'm gonna feel like a fucking
So
puppy.
you always gonna feel vulnerable because she make more money.
Here's
than
the
you.
thing. Just don't bring that shit up. Don't make me feel inferior.
Right.
Don't talk to me about money if this was a scenario. We could talk about money. We could talk about what we're going to do. But when you start using words like I did this, or I made this, or I got this for us, and this and that, and it costs like that, don't worry about it, baby, because I know you can't afford it. When you start doing that shit, time out. Let's go to the corner because we need to talk about something, because I don't think this shit
They
finna
typically
work
do it
too
in front
much.
of company too.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think this shit finna work too much longer.
Company.
Yeah, like, no, hell no.
Right. That's something you all chose for your life, right? So if you're paying extra for stuff around the house, at the end of the day, that is improving your life. You know why? Because let's say in 10 years something massive happens and now this man is making 200K.
Right.
You making 100K. The motherfucking roles just reversed.
It sound like acrimony.
Hey, listen. I love that movie.
I mean, because it was really a picture of reality of how crazy motherfuckers really be sometimes.
That man was down, and then he was up.
That boy was driving bucket trucks.
And honestly, I really think the sisters were at fault because them sisters was.
yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
You saw, so who? Okay, completely off topic, but you took us here, so we'll stay here. Who was at fault? more? You can name sister, him, her, or, you know, like who do you feel was truly at fault in the entire movie?
In the entire movie, it would have to be her sisters. Her sisters enabled her crazy.
Right.
They enabled that shit. Like, oh, you shouldn't be with him. He poor. He this. He that. Because they grew up affluent.
Yep.
Because they grew up looking down on their own people who did not make as much money as them, no matter how smart they were. Mm-hmm. He went and he got his damn college degree.
He did.
He graduated in the degree of whatever the hell he did. What was it? Computer science, whatever. Making whatever he was making. Engineering, whatever. But at the end of the day, he graduated, so the motherfucker is smart.
It's shit.
Right.
As shit. Right? So if the man say he gonna make some shit now, I ain't wrong with Taraji. Because it was how long? 10 years?
It was a long time.
That nigga was downstairs in the basement.
It was a long time.
Not doing
Was
shit.
it 10 years?
It was about 10.
It wasn't 10 years. It was longer. It was longer
No, them
than
niggas,
10 years.
them
I think it
niggas
was
went
like
out of college.
17 years.
Yeah, it might have been longer than that because them niggas started looking old.
Yes, I think it was about 17 years. It was 17 years later. Yes, I'm gonna go motherfucking crazy because dog.
Yeah,
But she allowed it because the dick was good.
when we letting this dream go.
And exactly. And I feel like at every time, but it was her fault because after that 10-year mark, when you let him go past that, then it was, you allowed that shit. Because at that 5-year mark, I'm be like, all right, baby, you don't think you need to go ahead. Now, what I do agree with Taraji and the dude, motherfucker, you could have went and got a part-time IT job.
Yeah.
You could have went and did something to bring something to the house, even if it was $1,000 a month. But nigga, help me.
That's where I feel he fucked up at, because he was so fixated and dedicated to this dream that he forgot that we still gotta survive. To me, that's his only fault. And of course, you know, girls be like, "Oh, he cheated on her." Did he really?
That was before marriage.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Shit don't count.
Yeah, nothing don't count before marriage.
But you know, you got to remember back when they had it set for them days back in the day when people really took relationships serious, and before these new wave of niggas came by and the future era took over.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I bet y'all don't.
I do.
But when that era came, then shit started to change.
Yeah.
But she was still in that era where she felt like, nigga, you committed to me, so why you over here cheating?
True.
And she did a lot for that nigga. She bought him a car.
She did.
She ran her damn mama insurance money to the ground for that man.
She got it back though.
So yes,
12-fold.
Right.
she got it back, and I think it should have stopped there. But I think where she messed up at again is listening to her sisters, because you were going to be okay with what you heard had they not been there egging you on to be like this, that, and the third. So, like, again, keep people out y'all shit, because that includes family.
So what did we learn today, kids? You know,
There's a difference between a city girl relationship and a real relationship, and this topic ain't for the city girl relationship.
yeah.
This is for the people who actually have life goals and take marriage seriously
Right.
and actually respect the sanctity of
Right.
marriage. And if you don't, just listen to us talk shit and go about your business.
True.
So y'all real ass bitches don't give a fuck about a nigga. Y'all can listen. We need the pub, but this shit ain't for y'all.
Yeah, for me, I definitely, I don't know. I probably would be, I would be uncomfortable making less than my significant other. But
Which your drive should be harder, and that's what your partner should be seeing. That you're getting those extra certifications, that you trying to enroll in college to get a degree if you don't have one, or to advance your degree because you know advancing that degree about to get you $25K more, and that is going to advance your family. When you get with a partner does not mean that your career endeavors stop, and that is your income and that's what it's going to be for the rest of your lives. The point of being with the partner is for them to elevate, and for both of you to elevate, and you guys do it by motivating each other and bringing out those talents that they didn't think they have to go ahead and make money, because that is what other cultures do.
I think I would be less insecure if both of us was over 6 figures. Now, in the scenario that we put, we brought
So
forth,
you making 100. She making 150. You making 125.
you gotta think about what that 50 look like though, because we in the state that got state income tax.
Right.
Yes.
So you making.
So that's 50. You already gotta take 10% to give to the feds. Then you gotta take another 3% and give to the state. Bro, that's 13% right there off the top before it even come home to you.
But then think of the 100K, because she a single woman with no kids. So they take that 100K is getting bumped down as well.
Yeah. So I'm looking like maybe 38.
Yeah.
Right.
and she looking like
what?
77, 78.
Right.
That's a huge difference,
That's a
though.
40K difference. That's a little 55%, 58%.
This broke ass nigga walking through the garage again.
Bro, you gotta really and the overall, to me, from a man's point of view, because you gave great perspectives from a woman's point of view, a man you gotta really be insecure, and as men, our ego is very delicate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Depending on who you are and depending on the space that your significant other has created. So you can be vulnerable around certain people that you can't be vulnerable around. But naturally, we get offended at the smallest shit. And to me, your girl making more than you is one of them smallest shits in my opinion.
But see, that's the thing. If you are a guy that knows that your career is going to take you higher,
right?
What's the point of being insecure, because you know you're going to get there? Your girl could be at the highest position that she's at 100 because she reached it faster than whatever by being more talented than the rest, right? So you just have not advanced to that 100K, but you know that you're going to get there, then that's different. If you know that your ass is stuck at motherfucking 50, it ain't going nowhere, you ain't got no degree, you ain't got no certificate, that shit ain't changing, bruh, you gonna have to let that go and let God, and take your ass to somebody who makes about 60. Right, go find somebody who around your lifestyle. Because you ain't never gonna get over that, and all it's gonna do is cause problems, because everything she does, you gonna be sensitive to, because you think she doing it because she knows she the breadwinner of the house. And he ain't even gotta go be that. Oh, if she go buy a TV for the house, so you gonna just go buy Bruh,
you didn't even consult me?
You told me that the
you bought a Samsung, I wanted a Vizio.
Right.
Nah, that's true.
Right. It's just like, bruh, I brought it for the fucking kids' room. Like, who the fuck cares? Right? Like, you ain't gonna fucking care. It's a kids' room.
Gotcha.
Type thing. But again, if a woman accepts that, you gotta accept everything that come with it. Which is why.
Let's back up. She buying a TV and then she talked to a nigga, so we got an issue right now.
What you mean?
She talking to a nigga. Women don't know shit about TVs.
Oh, and the difference in the TV you talking about?
Right. You got a problem.
Who you been talking to?
But this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that would be something like, even let's say if she won the damn TV at work and came in the house and he started tripping like, where you got the TV from?
Yeah.
Like, oh, nigga from the work gave you a TV? Oh, just so your job just passing out TVs like that? And you sitting there like, my nigga, it's a Vizio, like.
Take it back.
Right. Take that shit back. Tell that nigga don't be giving you no fucking TVs. You don't got no work husband around here. Like, shit like that. When it gets to that, then you already know, bro, we ain't even gonna work, because that insecure shit ain't nobody trying to be on, especially if the woman already accepted it.
Yep.
Right? Because it take a lot for a woman to accept some shit. So if they accept it, then they accept it.
Yep.
Now you just gonna have the little immature motherfucker who gonna bring that shit up every time y'all get into an argument. But again, that leans more towards a city girl relationship and not two mature adults who are trying to advance in a relationship.
Gotcha.
Period.
You before we wrap up, you heavy into, fitness, working out. I see you on Instagram. What you call it? The mamas.
Fit Mom Loaded.
Fit Moms Loaded. Got you.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
So Fit Mom Loading was a platform that I made during quarantine when the gyms were closed. Nobody can do anything. And of course, all you could do was eat, right? And so for a lot of us, especially a lot of us that are active, that have structures, that have schedules, that took a toll on us. So my platform for Fit Mom Loading was just to be real, right? We're in the stigma where that you got that snapback stigma. You have that, oh, your figure is supposed to look like this.
Yeah.
You know, the figure everybody go to Dominican Republic to go get. Everybody supposed to look like that. And honestly, being a parent to me is first, but your health is second.
Right.
And the only reason being is because them kids gonna want to run around outside. Them kids are gonna get into sports. They're gonna be active. They're gonna have school activities, things like that. And you want to be healthy. As a medical social worker in a hospital, you know, it saddens me to see these couples where one partner is overweight, their legs are swollen, and you got the wife in there or the husband in there, because you do see a lot of women, older women, who do not take care of themselves in the hospital, but you see their partners in there stressed out because it's like they're losing an income. You know, their meds just went from $0 to $600 a month, all because you didn't take care of yourself in your younger years. So it's pretty a no judgment zone. I post a workout every day from Monday through Thursday. I work out with my trainer 3 times a week. But it's just a platform for moms, man. Like, come out. I'm going to start doing events, hopefully, once we get settled at our new place, and just start doing events so moms can come out. No judgment zone, any size. It does not matter. We're not looking to be Kim Kardashian, but we're looking to be healthy for our children, because that is the major thing. And what you do not want to do is have your 25-year-old child having to make a decision about your health because you spent so many years
Just being
unhealthy.
Yep.
And your child has to make these decisions when they should be living their own life. So
Big mama, your arm.
Big mama, your arm.
yeah.
Definitely, man. Any last words, Jeffrey?
Nah, man, just continue to keep us in y'all prayers.
Of course.
And,
For sure.
yeah.
Good luck on that house hunting.
Absolutely.
Again, if it does not work out, find a rental property, stack your money.
I definitely took note of that.
Yeah.
And just watch when the market drops and have that money ready.
Thank you, ma'am. We really appreciate you
For
joining us this evening. I think this was a very healthy conversation. A lot of great points, a lot of laughs, a lot of true shit that we discussed. Again, check out the sponsor at Molly Juice on Instagram. Greatest juice in the world. They got
Molly.
red. They got red, green, purple.
Molly's
I don't know the name of the
y'all.
flavors.
just know
They
the
colors. Okay. In front of you right now is red and pink. Okay.
Like
And
somebody
them
took a
shits is
sip out
good.
of one of them.
Yeah. That was your ass, nigga.
Woo.
All right.
Molly, you see how you blaming shit on me? I
Yeah,
ain't
man.
wanting
You
to
can
get over
follow us on all streaming platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. The Ignant Agenda. www.theignantagenda.com. Way more fly than you. 1 U on Instagram. 2 U's on Twitter. Miss Mama.
Shit, am I Mary _F_baby? I believe on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I think yes, for sure. I'm sorry, I've done changed my Twitter handle so many times.
You, sir.
Lil Dirt 88 on Twitter, Junior Dirt _88 on IG.
Thank y'all so much for listening.
Peace out.